Why is empathy important as a skill with a call center agent? Because most times a call center agent, if they can express empathy through their conversation, then they invoke an emotion in the customer, which creates that connection. And when that connection is created, I'm going to then hopefully want to either pay your company first or do business with your company because I have that emotion. It's like marketing. It's like commercials. Commercials tend to try to invoke some type of emotion that kind of grabs you and makes you a part of whatever that conversation is. So how do you teach empathy? You teach empathy when you can have someone understand what are the customer triggers. What are some of the things that I need to understand or acknowledge in what they're saying? And then I attach either an acknowledgement statement that I've heard you, and that's where I use my active listening. So when I say, yes, I acknowledge what you've said to me, and then I have an empathetic statement where I'm connecting that emotion, where I can understand what you're going through. And if I establish that connection, then that conversation will be a lot easier. It'll be a lot more meaningful because customers, they won't remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And that is what we're trying to evoke. And the original question was, can you teach it? You can teach it. You can teach that by having them understand what is empathy, how do I understand empathy, how do I communicate with empathy, using phrases and sentences, tone of voice, the pacing of your communication. All of that is important in how you communicate and with empathy. So why is my approach different? The approach that we've taken with Bridgeforce that has been successful and has yielded that 40% lift in collection rates is we've really simplified the collection call. We simplified it by creating a call model in 4 different unique parts. The opening, and then we go through assessing the financial difficulty, and then the 3rd step is resolving the financial difficulty, and the last is closing. So we have 4 parts of a call model. And we teach those 4 parts with knowledge, practice, then role playing. And we do that throughout each one of those 4 parts of the call. How do they create that opening where the customer wants to stay on the call? How do we assess a customer's financial situation using those open-ended questions, and we practice what those phrases are. And then resolving, where we want to really make sure that we're recognizing what the customer's reason for delinquency is, and we're aligning a payment solution that's going to help that customer. And then last part's closing. And then how do you effectively close an account where you understand, how do I set expectations? How do I recap that call? And then lastly, how do I thank them for their time and use that value-ended statement? So the approach has really worked. We have had great, I would say, participant satisfaction in the classes, as well as, again, that lift in collections. And that's really what training's all about, is can you utilize what you've learned in the classroom, and can you take it back to the floor and utilize it? And that's where the monitoring and call listening, when reinforcing what you've taught in the classroom, and we've built a call coaching guide based on the call model that helps reinforce it. And it's a learning tool for the managers, and it's worked very well. Yeah, we've had 2 success stories and really successful engagements that we've done working with clients. The first engagement was we had to stand up a customer care unit in which they were dealing with very difficult types of customer situations, and we had to teach how to acknowledge, how to listen, and then also how to then collect on those different types of really difficult situations. What payment solutions were we going to put together to make sure that once we recognized a customer situation, how do we align the right payment solution for that customer, and doing that in a sincere way where they really feel like that we're there to help them. What that engagement yielded was a 40% lift in their collection rates, which was, we were all a little bit surprised, but it came to fruition where their collectors were much more comfortable having conversations, using open-ended questions, and really getting to the heart of why the customer's delinquency is occurring. And that's what really allowed us to have such a great lift.